War Games. We will get you ready for your next sales opportunity. Are you looking to win the sales battle? You have joined the right team. Here on the War Games Group, we take the strategies and mindsets from the most successful salespeople and share it with you. With our help, you won't have to fail your way to the top. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that crossed before you. Prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for War Games to begin.
Shall we play a game?
Welcome, War Gamers. It's me, Joe, your host. I am excited today. And, anytime I get a guest speaker to come on, I'm always excited. But I'm really excited for this one because this guy is, as we would like to call him in the industry of food, a disruptor. The person who goes in and shakes up everything people think is normal and has just launched a career that is just phenomenal. And it's based on helping people. So I'm going to give you just a couple things. I'm going to throw some VIPs up on the screen first. Des will hang out for a little while until he turns off his camera. That's there. Then we're going to throw our amazing friend Brian Galkey, who's up here with Mr. Face Reader. So some of you, especially if you eat food late at night because you're hungry, will know of After's Ice Cream. And so After's Ice Cream is a place out here. Andy, I think Andy's in part of 30 different locations. It's a social media phenomenon. I will tell you that I know that when Andy first opened up the location, I think it was Garden Grove that was there, or Westminster, he put that open and the line around the block for like 2 solid months. And it was just amazing that so many people were like, hey, I need something different than what I'm used to. And that's what it comes up to. And so I'm going to rattle off a couple things as I bring them on the screen. But Andy has put that on. Andy Nguyen, thank you so much for being on board with us. Andy has gone through, listen to this, After's Ice Cream, Groundhouse Burger, Show Me Nudes Ramen Bar, right? And so he's got Portside Fish, Dough and Arrow, Matte Black Coffee, Mad Bun, Orange County, spelled different, right? He's got Pig Pen Delicacy, Sticky's Chicken. Guys, I'm telling you, the guy is not only great at naming a company, but taking food to the next level where it's going to be something that you could truly enjoy. And he mashes up things back and forth. And it's just, to me, it's just absolutely amazing. So Justin's here to point out Brian's Mr. Face Reader. That's there. So he's all up there. So everybody's excited for Brian today because he's been missing. So Andy, you are loved by some. We don't know who because it's only showing up on Facebook, but we definitely know that that's an Andy thing because, of course, we love Andy. That's there. So, Andy, welcome to War Games. This is the entrepreneurial show where we teach people how to sell things. And let's be real, you have learned how to package, sell, and throw things out in an amazing way. And that's why I was so excited when you were like, yeah, I'll come on, Joe. And I was like, heck yes. So Andy switched with me. So everybody says, hey, look. That's the big dog that's there. So
thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I do apologize. I'm very dark at this point because the lights behind me are there. But I would like to also say it's Natalie Essman is the one who thinks Andy's amazing. So we're there. So Andy, can you do us a favor? Just give us a brief history. I know you said college wasn't for you, right? I feel you on that. Then you played with real estate for a little bit, and then you decided I need to travel the world and taste food from everywhere and to inspire yourself to go on. But you can give a little bit more detail than I just threw out because there's more to you than that. Yeah.
I guess the short version, born and raised in Orange County, California. My parents are immigrants. I'm a first generation Vietnamese American. I grew up in this little Saigon area, which if you go around there, that's like the largest Vietnamese community outside of Vietnam itself. So it's pretty crazy to see that I grew up in that and learning about American culture and also my parents trying to instill Vietnamese culture in me at the same time. So I grew up, the worst. I'm like the worst Asian. I was failing all my classes, got kicked out of school. I'm like the worst. And went to college. Once I ended up going to community college, didn't know what I wanted to do. Took a career planning course, and the career planning course just started giving me all these weird results, like office administrator, like janitorial work, and I was like, no.
You're like, you want me to trapped inside? What? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this, and I was like, in my mind, I was thinking like, I'm going to be a sports agent, a music producer, something cool. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. This is not it. And my best friend dropped out of college at the time, and he went into real estate appraisal. And he pretty much convinced me to drop out to start our own real estate appraisal company. I had no idea what the hell I was doing, but I was curious because I didn't know anyone at our age that had their own company. And I just I'd rather work with my friends and be in school not knowing what I wanted to do. So we just lied to our parents and told them we were going to do both. But I completely dropped out and went to real estate. Built a thriving business early on. But I also learned that I didn't like real estate, and I went into starting a clothing company after that, which was my true passion. And I started a brand called I'm King back in 2007. I did that for about 7 years, incorporating brand building, streetwear hype, marketing, aesthetic, storytelling, like all those things I learned the foundation through my clothing brand. And after that, did a lot of traveling and learning about different things, and being in fashion, you see the trends go up and down, brands go in and out every single day. And I couldn't see that as sustainable for myself. So I had this idea of starting this ice cream store called After's Ice Cream. And we opened that a little over 8 years ago in Fountain Valley, incorporating all the things I learned from streetwear about branding, marketing that no one was doing. And we happened to put ice cream inside of a donut, which no one's ever done before at the time. And people were just getting used to seeing people are getting used to shooting food on Instagram, and we were the forefront of that. And after we did that, that thing just like took off. And from there, I just kept launching more concepts, probably 15, 20 concepts since then. Some real estate development that I helped out along the way, and now I'm here.
Dude, that's amazing. So the reason I know Andy is this anonymous Facebook user is Bob Donnell, right? Who says you're the real deal entrepreneur, right? And he is definitely impacting the world, because every one of the businesses that you've gone forward with has now been more of a collab than it's been solely just you, right? Am I right in that? And so
yeah, I love collaboration. I don't like working on projects myself. I love to have someone to lean on, even though we may not agree on everything all the time. It still has at least someone to fall back on than trying to listen to myself.
So again, you may have said, dude, I'm going to talk about this, but one of the things that I think is admirable is your answer is I jump, right? There isn't a safety net for you, but you jump and run and go, hey, you know what? I don't want to go in school, so I'm just going to jump into, let's start a business. And then I don't like that, so I'm going to start, right, the clothing business. And I'm not really there, so I'm going to go jump and start the ice cream business and go through. But one of the things, what does it take inside? Is it something you believe you're wired up with, that you're like, I just believe I can land on my feet and it's okay to jump? Or was it something that was instilled in you on the way through, school, family, life, whatever it is?
I think just as myself getting excited about different things in general, like the way I get excited about things, once that excitement hits on an idea, I can't get it out of my head. It's stuck in there, right? And myself, someone like myself, I'm always focused on bringing that to life. And if I can't stop thinking about it, I'm not. I'll be awake all night, working on ideas, trying to bring it to life one way or another.
Fantastic. Okay, so you said taken from the clothing business. So when you got into clothing, which is a very risky business, right? And you jumped into it and you said, but because I knew about the storytelling and I knew about branding and I knew about how to leverage social media. So everybody who's going to watch this either now or on the replay that's on the different channels coming in, they're all going to be looking, going, hey, we have a business. We have a desire to make sure that our business stays successful. What is it that they need to know that they can say for those areas that you understand so well that maybe they don't?
I think there's so many components. There's a lot of different components and variables, right? In the business that I'm in. Product is always, you need to have a great product at the end of the day, right? I can market things, but if people come to the door and the product is trash, then it's going to ruin my brand reputation. So I think you need to align everything: great product, great marketing, great operations, great scaling, great so many things that you need to have all in order for it to work out. And I've had projects that don't work out. It's just part of it, right? And just some things don't align, or the team doesn't make sense, and personalities don't work out. So it's a lot of those things. But I think if you can have, number one, you need to have a great product. You need to have a great team. Everyone needs to be transparent and fall in line with how you want to scale your business. And yeah.
Okay. So when you look at it, so I will say, just the other day, I was clicking through your story, because I always do, right? Mainly because he puts up some really good looking food when he's in there. When he gets into the kitchen of one of these places, he starts putting it, and you're like, I don't even like noodles, but damn, look at that. So, but one of the things was you jumped on and you said, look, I'm showing you my story, right? Through my stories, with adding the words on top of it. And to me, I laughed, and I was like, okay, that's totally Andy. He just broke down what is NFTs and what is, the whole digital concept of where everything's going. I'm like, he just broke it down in a Facebook story. And I was like, it's so inventive and original to go, this is what I'm teaching you. And you actually put that at the end of the story. And I was like, wow. But so where does it come from? Is teaching people something that motivates you? Is it I want to show you that it's easy because I did it? Because you make stuff look really easy. And my friend, I have not sat on this side of it going, dude, this is all cake.
Definitely
I just made a post. Now I'm a millionaire. Yeah, it doesn't work.
I think it's me going through the process first before I put it out there for everyone, like showing like, hey, like you guys are gonna see me do it. You're gonna see the end result through social media, right? But when the time comes, I'm going to show you guys all the in-between things that happen along the way. Like, it's not an easy journey. Like, I'm probably putting out fires more than I am popping bottles, right? So
right.
I think that's a lesson that a lot of people don't understand. Like, it's every day is a different challenge and a different journey. And you're probably going to fail more times than you succeed, but you just need to succeed that one time. That one big hit is going to completely change everything. And from there, you're just going to get more experience. Your confidence level is going to get a lot better. You're going to have a better understanding of how things work, and your rate of hitting success is going to keep improving and improving and improving. Right. And so for myself, right, it's completely changed over time in the past 2 decades for me.
So I'm going to go ahead and leverage the fact that we're all on screen at this time. But so if you look at it, like Brian Galkey, so I'm going to be greedy for Brian, okay, because he'll sit quiet. So Brian's got a great product. Okay, so his product is he does facial analysis. So he looks at your face. He can tell you based on looking at you, personality factors, things about you that most people would have to take a while to get used to. And so with that, and we say, okay, so here's the product, and it's a great product. What would be the next steps you'd advise him to say, okay, so to get your brand, your business, get your stuff out there, what's the next steps that the Andy process would be to move forward?
I think I would look at the marketplace of who would buy that, who's their demographic of who would buy that product, and who is the most influential people that you need to get it to look at that product, because you need those influential people to be the early adopters to show that this product is legit, right? Because if the legit people aren't using it, no one else is going to jump. Everyone else, that's the late guys that jump on, they're not going to touch it. They're going to be like, I'm going to wait to see what they do with it first, and if it makes sense, or if all the cool people are using it, now I need to do it.
Fantastic. So Brian, you have a question to ask directly? No,
I'm good right now. I was just thinking like Steve and some other people, Brad, that I need to get back with.
Yeah, so he's already got relationships with like Greg Reed or Steve Sims and things like that. So he speaks on Steve's stage and stuff. But I'm just saying, to get the information out beyond that is where would he go next? But now, one of my dear friends that I love to death is Bob Donnell. And he always says, it's all about the questions you ask, right? And the quality of those is what you're going to get. So he's got one for you. What was your greatest lesson learned from Bored and Hungry?
Greatest lesson that it's not easy to pull off opening a restaurant in 3 weeks, and we pulled that off, right? And not only did we pull that off, we did something that was completely different. We're the first NFT themed restaurant, right? We were accepting crypto, which we didn't even know how to do that. I've only been in this Web3 world since technically December, right? So in 5 months, I had to learn this entire industry that I had no idea what I was getting into. And I'm the first to do it, right? I'm the first to apply it, to be able to use transactions of Ethereum and ApeCoin inside of a restaurant. So the lessons, I guess, is if you really wanted to make it work, we'll figure it out, right? In that short amount of time, no matter. I just had to put a hard date on it. I was like, guys, we need to open by April 9th, and somehow, some way, we pulled through, right? A lot of ass kissing to the city to make sure they approved us on a lot of things, but we did it. And if people are a lot of the naysayers that said that we couldn't do it, we pulled off the impossible.
That's amazing. So it's funny because another War Games guest trainer was David Morrell, and he's out of Canada, and he allows people to buy houses using crypto. And so you look at it, I'm like, hey guys, this crypto thing may not just be a fad that we may have to look into and go through. So
Joe,
Desmond.
With what Andy was saying, though, that I heard that's different is he takes Ethereum and other things, not just Bitcoin. And that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he said he's taking Ethereum now that goes through. So, but again, because everybody said it's going to be Bitcoin, it's going to be Bitcoin, it's going to be Bitcoin. So that comes up as kind of risky to go with a different one that's out there. But so Desmond owns his own business as well. Desmond is the one that's buying people's cars, because today is that kind of market where people need to sell their car, and he does it. He does a lot of advertising, does things himself, represents himself very well. But what kind of story can he tell, right, as part of the storytelling thing to make ads interesting or make other things that are interesting? And Des, you can unmute if you have a direct question, but
I think, I guess my approach in that industry is, I would tell a lot of, if the sellers were open to it, I would sell all their stories, like the stories of people that have cars, even the buyers. I would sell their stories, like, on why they need a car or why they're selling their car. Like, those stories are, people are always trying to wonder why. Like, why are you letting something that you've had with you for a while, like, why are you letting it go? And it's going to a great new home that, like, I think those are important things. And people just connect well to stories, right? And in presentations, I've learned through a lot of my presentations, when I'm doing a pitch deck or working through it, I usually tell a story before I go into any of the sales parts of it, because I'm trying to connect to them. I'm trying to connect to them in one way or another before I make the big move.
Fantastic. Lisa Patrick in the house as well. She said, look what Patrick Sells is doing for Bitcoin and banking. And so maybe he's doing something great. I'm really, really a novice when it comes to the cryptocurrency. And you know what? It's so inspiring at this point, because my answer right now was going, wow, if Andy pulled it off to go take crypto in a restaurant, and he's already done it in 4 months, then I probably could sit down and learn something about it and go back and forth. Because again, stop and look. If anything, as Andy put out and said, hey, guess what? It's because I have an idea that I can't get out of my head. And I will say kudos to you, because your feet move once that idea gets in there, right? And you immediately take action moving forward. And so again, is that something that Andy grew up with? Is it something just wired differently? Or is it something that Andy says, hey, that what you need to know is this something that you force yourself to do? Is it something that it's just passion driven?
Definitely, I would say a lot of it's passion driven, right? Because I'm so passionate at the time. When in every industry that I've jumped into, I had no clue what I was getting to. Like real estate, I had no idea. At 18 years old, you don't know anything about real estate, right? At in my early 20s starting a clothing brand. I never worked in a clothing brand before that. Like really, I didn't really work in one. My friend started one, but he didn't really know what he was doing. I went to food. I never worked a day in my life in food. I never worked at a fast food restaurant. I go eat at a lot of fast food places, but I never actually worked in one. And this whole NFT space, this Web3 world that I've jumped into, it was just curiosity, right? And just something that just a light bulb that lit. And I was like, oh, I get it. I connected the dots and I was like, okay, I'm going all in. And then I became one of those terms they call it degen, where I'm up at 3, 4 in the morning asking questions and learning and reading, and just keeping my mind open.
Yeah, continuously learning. So my question to you is, we got people here that are real estate. We got people that are financial services. We have a lot of people that are sitting back saying, I have my own business. I only have an Instagram account, or do I have a YouTube account, or do I have this? What would I do to bring brand awareness to myself? And
I think you need to learn about all the social channels that are out there, right? There's so many different ones: LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. They're all for different uses, right? And they all make sense in a different way. And I guess it depends on your personality and how you incorporate it. Like myself, you're not going to see my grown ass on TikTok dancing, right? I was like, I'm not doing that. But I
should stop that. Is that what you're saying?
Not me. I'm not doing it. But then I'll post a lot of different things on Instagram, right? Instagram, my engagement happens to be really strong. On Twitter, since I talk about NFTs, my engagement has increased. So I think the certain things I talk about on different platforms work better than others. But I think for people that are trying to figure it out, try all of them, right? Try all of them, try different tactics until you see what sticks. So once something sticks, you're like, okay, this is it. This one just took off. This one went viral. I'm gonna run with it, and I'm gonna stay in around that same subject matter.
Perfect. Okay. So like I myself, sales training, going into companies, fixing the sales process. I love taking the virtual prospect and turn them into a sold deal. And so now I'll tell you, TikTok, I spouted off a political story one day and it's 100,000 views later. And so it's like, okay, do I stay in that realm as I go down because that's what people are looking for that social media? Is it okay to be a different personality or a different message specifically for the social media platform you are, or does that come off as disingenuous?
I don't think so. I think we all do, we
have different sides.
Yeah, there's different sides to everybody, right? Like sometimes if you give me a few shots of alcohol, I'm a completely different person than I am right now, right? It's just it is what it is. And yeah. I think similar platforms, like you'll do certain things on certain, like on LinkedIn. I'm not going to go on LinkedIn and be as blunt, right? Because I'm not going to cuss on there because it's a business platform, and everyone's like, "Hey, this guy looks crazy right now." But on Twitter, they don't really seem to care much. So I was like, "Okay, well, I'm uncensored then."
So that's perfect. Okay, great. Brian, any questions? Do we have any questions? Des, I cut you off earlier only because the popo was flying by. And so I didn't want Andy to jump under the table thinking they were coming for him. So
yeah, the thing that stood out to me, I want to ask you. You said you brought over or your marketing change. You brought concepts from the street fashion or the streetwear world to the restaurant world, and that was part of your success. What aspects of it did you bring over?
Afters is a good example because I was like right in between of the shift, right? I was still doing both at the same time. So with Afters ice cream, if you've ever visited a store, you see a lot of the minimalistic black and white color schemes. That was tied to a time back in 2013, 2014 when street goth was popular, when Kanye was wearing all black leather pants, Apple stores are minimalistic, like things we're inspired by and picking upon those. But we also have, when you walk into our stores, we have giant quotes on the walls. Like we make jokes like anti-diet club or Gucci man loves ice cream, like a lot of funny quotes that we put on the wall that still stick to this youth hip hop culture that we're ingrained in. And then the music that's pumping through the speakers, the colors of the ice cream, like we have a blue ice cream, we have a purple ice cream. There's a reason for it, right? I wanted to look good on camera and I wanted to stand out so it didn't look like anyone else's ice cream. And those are things that we played into. The way we shot our food was completely different because from fashion, you understand about aesthetics, right? All about looks looking good on camera. So with food, we're treating it the same way. We're making sure things look great on camera. And most people didn't understand that in the restaurant industry at the time. And we were changing that.
Got it. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And then one more question: how do you have multiple concepts, multiple locations? Like how do you keep yourself from going crazy on a day to day of all these locations? Like I'm trying to expand out a little bit, and I'm getting overwhelmed. Do you know what I mean? And so how do you manage it? Like, what does your day to day look like?
I'm definitely always going crazy all the time. My day to day is pretty nuts, but I have really strong operating partners that handle a lot of the dirty work, the things that I don't like to do, or the things that I'm not strong at, and I just focus on what I'm good at. I'm great at. I'm great at marketing and branding. I'm great at bringing connecting the dots together. I have a large network of people that I'm able to get resources from. But I definitely lean on a lot of my operating partners to handle a major of the bulk of the work, right? But they're leaning on me for other things too, right? They need me to handle my side of things, and they don't want to see me in the kitchen because it's not going to be a good day if I'm in the kitchen.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, man.
I believe that. Yes. And again, I've been to Newport Beach. I've been to Afters down there, right on the end Newport Boulevard. And I'm like, it is. You walk in, the music's pumping, and you've got the quotes all over the wall, and everything looks appetizing. So I can see where you've drawn the lines and pulled everything over from one thing to the other one. And so, but again, you're more of idea, creative. And again, getting stuck in the operational is going to completely change your personality to the point that you become frustrating. So again, I like when you said, right, you got the great product, you got a great team. And for you, that's finding the people, right, that you decided these people complement me because they don't think like me, and they do the stuff I don't like to do. And I think we all need to walk away from here saying, yeah, this is what we want. So, and Ron Siegel wants to know now where he goes and gets ice cream at Afters.
And 17th and Irvine Boulevard in the Ralph's Plaza. You'll see the Afters right next door to that one.
So fantastic. So Ron, you got that? You can go get it. But again, you can get, what is it, like Fruity Pebbles on your ice cream? You can get all these things that you just go, are you kidding? Did you mix those together? And it does work. So one of the things I'm going to tell you, Andy, thank you so much, because you brought back to my attention, said it's okay to be different on different social media platforms, because again, I look at it and say, on LinkedIn, I should be a certain way. And then it's okay to say, yeah, on LinkedIn, you should be more professional and you should be more of this person and not post the dancing videos you did on TikTok,
right,
kind of deal. And so I like that, because it's define your platform, because that means to me now, if I'm focusing on getting businesses and going after that and increasing my customer base, then all of a sudden I need to stick where people with money are, and not necessarily is that going to be business owners on Instagram.
Yep.
And so for me, I'm taking it away as myself because I like that. And then Lisa Patrick threw up there and said, what's your key culture strategy for driving belonging virtual space? You tell me what that is. So driving virtual space. Lisa, you got to help us.
You're talking about the metaverse?
Okay. So is that possible?
So it's creating brand experiences to the metaverse right now. Yeah, there's definitely things that we're working on, right? Like bringing this restaurant concepts into the metaverse. I think utilizing these metaverses as brand experiences. You can't.
I'm so glad you two speak the same language, because yes, she just clarified it for me. The noob.
You'll be able to tell your story and visuals through the metaverse. But you can also use those spaces as perks to get, when you get to the real restaurant, you might get a free thing because you went and visited us in the metaverse. You can get a free extra scoop or a free topping. Different ways to earn rewards through the metaverse and bringing them into the IRL in real life experience.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna have to go sit outside your house until you teach me what all the Web3 thing is that goes on. So, but no, that's great. So Ron says he figured it out, that it's over right across from Kit's, right, yep, for coffee.
Yep.
So, but that's fantastic. Okay, so thank you, Lisa, for bringing that up there, because again, if everybody's got goggles on, or everybody's got something that they're going to be in real life at the same time as they're in the metaverse, or they visit you in the metaverse first, get some kind of belonging to go through, that'll just carry into real world. And again, that sticks with you, cutting edge, leading something from the front and taking that risk where most people don't want to go take that risk and do that. Because I'm thinking now I can go get virtual classrooms and conduct training all over the world for what I'm doing and do it in the metaverse and tell people that's there. So yes, Ron, try that. Walk in and say, you know, Joe, and see if you get free stuff over it. And there's a whole list on the show notes of every place Andy is the partner in. So just go mention my name. It'll go really well. So, but perfect. Okay, Andy, if you had to say, here's one thing I need every entrepreneur to realize about themselves, about their business, whatever it is, here's the one tip I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to drop the mic. What would it be?
Just go out and try. Like, a lot of people have amazing. I've heard millions and millions of ideas over time, but it's the ones that take action, right? And the percentage of your first business failing is super high, right? But it could be your 10th, 11th, 12th business that takes off. You need that one time. That one time will change your entire life, your entire universe. And that's why I'm still doing it, right? I'm still doing it because I still feel like my best work is still ahead of me, and there's still a lot I want to accomplish. And I'm going to keep going till I can't anymore.
That's fantastic. Great. Desmond, any other questions before we let him skedaddle? Because, you know, he's got another business to open, right? Because I think he does one a month the way he goes.
Yeah, no, that's it, man. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, Andy. Thanks everybody for jumping on and listening to Andy. And if anybody wanted to reach out to you, Andy, where do they find you? What social media platforms better?
Instagram and Twitter at Andy the Nguyen. My name's right there on the screen. Just add the in between it, and you'll find me on social media.
Perfect. And I would recommend everybody go to secretsaucesociety.co and just look at the retro site that he built up for all of his stuff. Because again, it took me way back. Ron Siegel, to you go way back further than me, but you'll have to go out there and do this. Tyler Preston is already stealing my line that's on there. Right. So I'm going to tell everybody at this point, thanks for taking your time on War Games. Go out and sell something. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Andy.